Preshtar apyalam asulabam kim punar bhakti bhajam tat premedam sakrit api sarasnatur avishkaroti karmi bhyah parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayurnyaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata Tebhyasta pashupala pankada drishastabhyo pisaradika Prishta tadvadiyam tadiya sarasitam nashrayat kakriti Vaikuntaj janito varamadupuri tatrapirasotsavad Rindaranya mudarapani ramanat tatrapi govardhanaha Radha Kunda Mihapi Gokulapate Premamritap Lavanad Guryarasya Virajato Giritate Sivam Vivekinakaha Tannamarupa Charitadu Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasani Siniyoja Tishtam Vrajetananuragi Jananugami Kalam Dayera Kilamityupadesha Saram Syat Krishna Nama Charitari Sitapta Vidya Pitto Patapta Rasanasya Narochakanu Kintwavarad Anudulam Kalusariva Jushta Swadvikramad bhavati tad gadamula hantri Drishtai sabhava janutarva pushashta doshayar Na prakritatva miha bhakta janasya pashyed Gangam nasam nakalubud buddhapena pankayar Brahma dravapama bhagachate niradharmai Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta Dikshasti che pranati bishcha bhajantamisham Shushrushraya bhajana vignam ananyamanya Nindari shunyaridam ipsita sangalabhya Dadati pratiganati kuhyamakyati prichyati Punkte bhojayate chaiva shadvidam priti lakshanam Utsahan nishchayad dharyat tat tat karma pravartanad Sangatyagat satovrate shadbhir bhakti prasidyate Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha Janasangascha lalyam cha Shadbhir bhaktir vinashyati Vacho vegam manasakrota vegam Jihva vegam udrapasta vegam Etan vegan yo vishaheta dhira Sarvam apimam pritivim sashishyad Shri Upadeshamrita Sampurnam Radhesham Agnenaya Supataraya Svan Vishvani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodyasmaschuharana Meno Bhuishtam Te Nama Uktim Vidhema Vayunanilam Amritam Atedam Bhashvantam Shariram Om Krato Smara Kritam Smara Rato Smara Kritam Smara Hane Karshe Yama Surya Prajapatya Vyuharasmin Samuha Tejo Yate Rupam Kalyanatamam Tate Pashyami Yosavasa Purusha Sohamasmi Ina Patrena Satyasya Pihitam Mukham Tattvam Pushanaka Nu Satyadharmaya Drishtaye Sambhutim Cha Vinasham Cha Yastadvedo Bhayam Saha Vinashena mrityum tirtva sambhutyam mrityumashnute. Anyadevahu sambhavad anyadahura sambhavad iti shushu madhiranam yenastad vichichakshire. Antam tama pravishyanti ye sambhutim upasate tato bhuya evate tamo ya usambhutyam rataha. Vidyam cha yas tadvedo bhayam saha avidyayam mrityum tirtva vidyayam mrityum ashnute. Anyadeva hur vidyaya anyadahura vidyaya iti shushu madhiranam yenastad vichichakshire. Andantama pravishyanti ye vidyam upasate tato bhuya evate tamo ya uvidyayam rataha. Saparya gachukram makayam avranam asnaviram shuddham apapavidham kavir manishi paryabhusvayambhur yatatyatortan vyadadashasvatibhya samabhyaha. Smin sarvani bhutani atmaivadbhud vijanataha tatrako mohakashoka ekatvam manupashyataha. Yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanupashyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijagupsate. Tadejati tannaijati tadure tadvantike tarantarasya sarvasya taru sarvasyasya bhayataha. Anejadekam manaso javiyo naina deva abnuvam purvanarshat tadavato jnanatyeti tishtat tasminapo matarishva dadati. Asurya namate loka andhena tamasavritaha tamste pratya vigachanti ye ke chatma hano janaha. Kurvane veha karmani jijivishakshatam samaha evam tvainanyate tosti na karma lipite nare. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat dena tyaktena bhunjita magradha kasya svidhanam. Om Purnamada Purnamiram Purnat Purnam Budachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vishishyate. Shri Ishopanishad Sampurnam Hari Om. Vyasuvacha iti sambrishna sambrishto vipranam roma harshanihi pratipuja vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame yam pravajantam anupetam apeta krityam dvaipayano viraha kartara ajuhava putreti tanmayataya taravo benedus tam sarva bhutam hrudayam munimanantosmi yasvanubhavam akila shruti saramekam adhyatmadhipam atititirshatam tamontam samsarinam karunayaha puranakuyam tam vyasasunumupayami gurum muninam narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim sarasatim vyasam tato jayam budhiraye. Munayak sadhu prishtoham vavadbhir loka mangalam yat krita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. Savai pumsam parotarmo yato bhaktirda tokshaje ahaitu kiya pratiyata yayatma suprasidati. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayat Yashuvairagyam Jnanam Chayarahaitukam Dharma Shranustita Pumsam Vishwakshena Katasuya Notpada Yadyadiratim Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam Dharmasya Hyapavargasya Nartortayopakalpate Nartasya Dharmaikantasya Kamolabhaya Hismritaha Kamasya Nendriya Pritir Labo Jiveta Yavata Jivasya Tattva Jignasa Narto Yascheha Karmabhi Vadanti Tat Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yajnanam Advayam Rameti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdate Tashtradadhana Munayo Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya Pashyantyatmani Chatmanam Bhaktya Shuta Grihitaya Atakpumbir Dvija Shreshta Varnashrama Vibhagashaha Swanustistasya Dharmasya Samsadir Hari Toshanam Tasmade Kena Manasa Bhagavan Sattva-tampati Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha Dhyaya Pujascha Nityada Yad Anudyasina Yukta Karma Grantina Bandhanam Chintanti Kovidastasya Ko Nakuryat Kataratim Shushusho Shudatanasya Vasudeva Katarachi Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevana Shinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaksto Hyapatrani Vitunoti Suhritsatam Nashtapraeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yutama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tadrarjastamo Bhava Kamaloba Dayashjaye Cheta Etera Vidham Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavat Tattva Vignanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantish Chijante Sarva Samkshaya Shiyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Eva Manishvarhe Atovai Kavayo Nityam Bhaktim Paramaya Muda Vasudeve Bhagavati Kurvantyatma Prasadanim Sattvam Rajasthamayiti Prakritir Gunastar Yuktapada Purusha Eka Ihasiddhate Stityadaye Harivarinchi Hareti Sangya Sheyamsi Tatra Kalu Safatanor Nrinam Suhu Parthiva Dharano Dumas Tasmad Agnistrayi Mayaha Tamasastu Rajastasmad Sattvam Yad Brahmadarshanam Bhejire Munayo Tagre Bhagavan Tamatoksajam Sattvam Vishudham Shemaya Kalpanteye Nutaniha Mumukshava Gaura Rupan Hitva Bhuta Patinata Narayana Kalashanta Bhajanti Hyana Suyava Rajastama Prakritaya Samashila Bhajanti Vai Pitrir Bhuta Prajeshadin Shri Aishvarya Prajepsavaha Vasudeva Paraveda Vasudeva Paramaka Vasudeva Parayoga Vasudeva Parakriya Vasudeva Param Jnanam Vasudeva Param Tapaha Vasudeva Parodharmo Vasudeva Paragatihi Sa evedam sasarjagre Bhagavanat mamayaya Sarasadrupaya chasau Gunamaya guno vibhu Taya vilashite shreshu Guneshu gunavaniva Antak pravishta abhati Vignanena vrajimbritaha Yata yavahito hanir Darushveka suyonishu Naneva bhati vishvatma Bhuteshu chatatapuman Asau gunamayer bhavir Bhuta sukshmendriyatmavi Swanirmiteshu nirvishto Bhunkte bhuteshu tadgunan Bhavayat yesha satvena Lokan vai lokabhavana Lila vataranurato Devatiryan naradishu Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Paramahamsyam Samitayam Pratamaskande Naimishiyo Prakyane Dvitiyo Dhyayaha Hari Om. Do you remember that Meg rug? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Couple of realizations. I have to go home early. Wisdom of the Sages tomorrow at 5 a.m. So I got to be a little rested. Do you all have some realizations? You're living entities. You're in Krishna consciousness. Yes. We'd like to welcome Ananda Murari Prabhu to ISV. Hare Krishna.
I was thinking earlier when you mentioned, or you were alluding to just the importance of being with the Vaishnavas, because the Vaishnavas are offering things to Krishna. And I was remembering a time, there was one, Mother Margaret, when I was living in Denver, she was taking care of the garden, and she would bring in fresh flowers for Radha Govinda every morning. And one day she came into the puja room with all these sunflowers, and she was like preparing them to go into the altar, and she found a little bee sleeping inside of one of the sunflowers. And I began to think of, that's kind of my situation. I got attracted to something in this material world, and the Vaishnavas take that and they offer it to Krishna. And then I just wake up and I'm like, oh, there's Krishna. So just how important it is to be near the Vaishnavas, because they engage us in service and they offer us to Krishna. So that's one thing I was appreciating.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I think that today, so your lecture, as you started, the first statement which you gave, it was very soothing when you mentioned that all problems are due to our, forgetfulness of our relation with Supreme, and the solution is to connect with them. I just felt like, yeah, it's kind of complete solution. All problems, and the solution, very simple solution to all problems. It's very relieved. I felt like, I don't need to fix my individual problem, this problem, that problem. So if I just work on one simple solution, then my whole problem would be solved. So that was very helpful.
Yeah, thanks for remembering that. I was thinking of the verse, Bhayam Tvitiya Binibesha Tasya Ishada Petasya Viparya Yosmriti Tanmatayo Tanmayatam Buddha Abhajatam Bhaktyaika Yesham Gurudeva Tatma, which says that fear arises when we see something separate from Krishna, and that the cause of illusion is us turning our heads away from Krishna, and then the solution is to give one-pointed attention to Krishna. And when we do that, then there's no more dvitiya. It's one thing, everything's connected to Krishna. Thank you. Yes. Kailakunja Kumari.
Hare Krishna. So this quarter I took a bio course, and it was basically about plants, phylogenies, and animals. And I found the animal unit especially fascinating. And so, just a fun fact I learned was that starfish, they wage to the death duels over women and territory, the male starfish. And when I heard that, I immediately thought about the Trojan War, because last quarter I had taken another course on ancient literature, and we read about the Trojan War, and that was literally fought over a woman, Helen of Troy, and territory, because Greek wanted Troy. And so I was just thinking that problems don't change across species. And if we fight to the death, like the Trojans in the Trojan War did, then there's really no difference between us and a starfish. And I was also thinking, just we learned so much about different marine species and terrestrial species, and it's every species is suffering somehow, or they have so many problems. Especially in the ocean, space is really limited, and so species will kill each other just to get space. If you go near a sponge and another sponge starts to try to live in the same area, the sponge will push out toxic chemicals, and then boom, the other sponge is done. So I was just thinking, life is not better as a sponge than it is as a human being. And it's just we rotate through, it's 8.4 million species, and it's just death and suffering again and again and again. And finally we have a human life, and it's such an important gift and such an important species, because out of all of them, this is the only one where we have a choice to go from this world to the spiritual world. And so it's so important that we utilize it, because, yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu. Is that part of your blog? If it's not, you should do a blog. That's too good. A couple more. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So this week was finals week in Davis. And so I would say this was probably one of the worst weeks in terms of my spiritual life. I was basically doing the notorious machine gun rounds every day. I was sleeping very late and then getting up later than I normally do. And so when finals ended on Friday, I had some time, and so I decided to open up Vedabase, and I just started looking through verses. In particular, I started looking through the section where, in Rupa Shiksha, when Mahaprabhu is talking to Raghupati Upadhyay, and Raghupati Upadhyay composes the two verses on the spot. And then I just realized at that moment how happy I was just reading those verses. And it kind of sparked this, I just started remembering the verse, Navai Jano Jatu Kathancha Navrajan. Even though I didn't fall down in the normal sense, but that week, there was definitely a spiritual fall down. And then at the end, when Narad Muni mentions that Vihatu Mitche Narasa Graho Jana, at that point, I didn't want to give up that rasa that I was getting at that moment. So it was just a really nice experience.
Sadhu, sadhu. I really like that. Connecting to the Shastra and seeing our own situation in context of the Shastra, it's really good. And also being really aware of where we are, how we're practicing and so forth, what's affecting us. It's nice. Take two more. Malini.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So yesterday, Geeta Priya and I were planning to come for the Japa circle, and we got ready and everything, ready to go, and sat in the car, and we found that all the windows were frozen because it was 36 degrees outside.
Wow.
And we couldn't, Geeta Priya tried to scrape off the ice, and we tried so many things, but it was not helping. So we just finally decided to just sit down, and we tried to turn on the heat. So I felt that how the soul feels within the body, trapped, cannot move, cannot do anything, we can't drive or we can't do anything. But the heat of the holy name that comes automatically melts away all our external circumstances, and then we can see something in front of us, and then we can move forward. So I was thinking how the dim glimmer of the holy name comes and awakens us. So I just thought of that.
My goodness gracious. Haribol. Sadhu, sadhu. Everyone's become a kavi in here tonight. Okay. This is really nice. It's beautiful.
I just had this realization. Somebody was mentioning that, ISV kids and Sunday school, and you've done a wonderful job. I have been thinking about it for a couple days, and I was thinking that half the things these kids say, I don't even know. What Tejas just mentioned, I really don't know who's Raghupati and who's whatever names he said. And every time anybody quotes any verse, and they say, and then I was just thinking, Krishna mercifully put me in a situation where I can learn from them. What am I trying? When somebody says that, I was just trying to think that I really don't know. I don't know where he quoted it from. Everybody is so well versed in what they do. They've all done it in their past life. And then I was just thanking Krishna that you put me in the situation so that I realize and start reading books better.
That's an ideal situation to be in when we're feeling constantly enticed to learn more, do more. As I've said before, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. So try to be challenged. And it is amazing too when we're around devotees who are Krishna conscious, then the things flow in from where we don't know exactly. Okay, Balaram for the close.
I had two reflections that I was really thinking about after coming back from Atlanta that I think I learned over there. One was that your seva will save you, as you always say, and then I really understood what my home was and where my home was. And being in Atlanta, being away from ISV, being away from this congregation that I've grown up in, still going to the temple felt like home, and like associating with devotees felt like home. It wasn't like it wasn't anything different. it just clicked because we were devotees, we were serving together, and something I realized that even though if I stray away for a little bit or if my sadhana goes off, if there's, like, I think I told you this as well, if there's a fire in the temple, I'll be the first one to run over there. It doesn't matter because I know that's my home. So that was the first thing that really just it's something that's really ingrained in my heart now. And the second was my seva will, like our seva will save us. And it's just by being involved in the temple, serving in whatever capacity I could, that was the only thing that was kind of grounding me spiritually over anything. And especially doing it with other devotees and really feeling like you're part of a movement, as Prabhu was also saying. You're really feeling like you're doing something for Krishna, you're doing something for Prabhupada with every action you take, everything you do. And I think these two things are really going to haunt me. They're just going to be stuck with me forever. And it's just like these moments that that you're always going to remember them and be like, I really like that and I want that again. So I just realized that like this is going to be a part of me now, and that's something really special that just like happened. Yeah.
Sadhu, sadhu. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madhav Mohan, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev, please instill in us the memory of all the devotional practices we've had together. Please encourage us to do more service together. Please empower us to bring more people into our circle of devotional service and show us how to take care of them so they can also become full-time devotees. And please let us smash all our goals for this marathon. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in part or in whole. Please say Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpaduruscha kripasinavevich. Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. God, I almost forgot that tune.